What's up, guys? I am back after a very long morning of live shots, and proof of the fact that I just walked in the door is you can still see my hat mark. This is worse than hat hair. It stays with me for about an hour after I take off my hat each day. Not a good time, not a good time. But what really wasn't a good time was I forgot my tea this morning. So finally, I am reunited. I just poured myself a cup, and of all of the mornings to forget my tea, this was not the morning because we were doing non-stop coverage of weather where we actually had to get in early. Normally my first live shot is at 5 a.m. Today it was at 4:05.
They received some of the biggest snow totals, and yet I want to show you what East Sharon Road is looking like.
And then after that, it just kept on going.
Well, it certainly snowed last night, and here in Oakley, some of it still on your road. A story that is much happier than Tuesday, with some tricky spots. ODOT has 1,083 crews out and about all across the state. Some people chose not to leave their houses. It is entirely covered in snow. Probably your biggest obstacle this morning is just going to be leaving your house and leaving those side streets. The one thing I have to say, it is a lot different than yesterday, where I kind of feel like I'm going to do it. Yeah, I can jog in this. I can run in it. You should not have too many problems getting around. And the biggest proof of that is the fact that I have seen so many joggers this morning. I know there are so many people who are eyeing their keys and thinking, should I leave my house? Hey, John, how things look when you leave your house this morning is really going to be hit or miss.
When we have snow coverage, there are two types for reporters. You are either doing live drive, which basically means you are just sitting in the car, the camera is pointed out the window, and you are showing what you are seeing.
And these are probably the worst road conditions I have seen in years.
I did that on Tuesday, and then this morning I was the other type, where you're outside, you're showing what you're seeing. This type, the one I did today, is 500 times better. And I know you probably wouldn't think it. You're probably like, what? Like, wouldn't you want to sit in the warm car? Isn't that better? Isn't that easier? No, it might be easier, but it is so, to be honest, boring. You're just sitting in a car for so many hours and you're constantly moving, and I just hate sitting down for that long. That's one of the best parts about being a reporter, that you're up, you're moving, you're doing things. Sometimes I'm tired, sometimes I don't want to be moving, but really for the most part, it's so much better than just sitting around all day. I also went with the bright pink lip, despite the fact that right before I applied it, I read a comment from someone telling me it looks like I have vomit on my lips. I don't know what that means, but it was a nice gentleman who commented on my last YouTube video telling me that, and I have no choice right now because matte lipsticks are drying out my lips so badly. Like, my lips are injured. They're not well. They're not okay. And this right here, you can probably tell, is luscious. It's not going to dry out my lips, and all of my neutral lipsticks, of course, are matte.
Also, I tweeted this out this morning, but the sweetest viewer drove up to me this morning and said, "Hey, Clancy." And I rolled down my window. He said he watched me every morning, and that right there, yes, that is a little iPad displaying Local 12. You can see that is Tara Blake, our meteorologist, and he delivers newspapers and watches us, which is just the cutest thing ever.
Today has already been a fantastic day, and you know why? Because I wasn't doing snow coverage. It felt marvelous for the first time. I guess I've been doing snow coverage for the past 3 days in a row, so none of that this morning. Actually, okay, I can't believe I completely haven't even like referred to you in the background. I'm in my own little bubble. We just have shirtless Zach making a protein shake. That's like so typical.
I'm trying to record my vlog, and this is what I have to deal with. So annoying.
But I was sitting here on my laptop about to do a big order of makeup. You guys can see the grand total is $199, so it's a lot, and you guys know I kind of just buy things all at once. And the reason I'm doing this on my work laptop is because we have a makeup allowance, so we get it expensed. Not that you guys can even tell it's my work laptop, but it is. Anyway, so yeah, we have a makeup allowance, so I have to send this in to get reimbursed. And I'm not gonna say how much my makeup allowances or my clothing allowance, hair, we get all of that as reporters, because we get all of that separately. Everyone does their own little negotiations, their own little deal, and I just don't want to say in case it's controversial, or I just don't want to step on anyone's toes. And funnily enough, I was just thinking I have to put my time card in right now because it's Friday, and we got some overtime this week with all the snow coverage. But when I was a reporter in Dayton, when I first started, and when I say first started, I mean for the first year, I did not put any overtime on my time card. Like, I would come in on the weekends and work because I was so overwhelmed with how much I had to do, especially for these certain long-term stories we had to work on. I would stay late. I would just work overtime sometimes, didn't put it on my time card, didn't get paid for it because I felt I was such a horrible reporter and such a liability to the station just coming out of college that I didn't want to cost them another dime, and I just felt so grateful to be there. And listen, it's great that I felt grateful to be there, but no, I look back on that and I'm like, what the heck? Like, now, if I'm working overtime, I'm getting paid for it. And that's not selfish. And even right now, I feel selfish for saying that. But no, like, you're doing work for someone else. Moral of the story, don't be like me if you're just starting out in a job. You deserve to be there. You're probably not going to be great in the beginning, but you still deserve to be there. Put down the overtime. Oh, and also, that stuff adds up. I just got my W-2 form for taxes, and I made quite a few $1,000s in overtime this year at Local 12. Like, a lot. And I don't even think I worked that much overtime. Like, it wasn't anything crazy, but it really does add up because all overtime is time and a half, which means you get more than you normally would. Well, guys, Zach is getting ready for yet another job interview. How are you feeling?
Dandy.
Dandy. As you guys,
how are you guys feeling?
As you guys know, he is on the job hunt, which, as we prefaced before, like, his work already knows. He's just looking to tell us why. Why are you looking for a change? You've been at your one job, which is IT recruiting, for 5 years.
Yeah, so it's staffing and services, but like, yeah, we're a recruiting firm. I'm on the sales side of it. I'm ready to take a new opportunity. My company's been good to me that I've been working for. I've met some of my best friends. I mean, people that will like be at my wedding and everything else. And
Your wedding?
Our wedding.
Oh, guys, it's a red flag. It's a red flag.
That's funny. Nice catch. I'm flustered. I'm like, wow. I'm contemplating everything. I'm like, wait, are we not gonna get married now?
He's more flustered right now than he will be for his job interview.
For real, that caught me off guard more than anything I've been asked yet. But it's been over 5 years. I'm just looking to make a change. The places where I'm interviewing now, I think, align a little bit better with my interests and maybe things I would enjoy selling more.
Oh, I'm so excited to tell them. We're not releasing any details yet, but let's just say it is very interesting where he is looking. I'm excited.
Let's just say.
Let's just say, so stay tuned for that. I mean, it's too soon to release any details, and
yeah.
I don't know. But I'm excited for this. I think it's going to be a lot more interesting what you're now selling.
Yeah, I mean, what I was selling can be interesting and whatnot, but it was just very dependent on, this will be dependent on clients as well, but just very dependent on clients. Then it was just getting to be too much. You have to depend on recruiters, you have to depend on other leadership to help different, and it's just too much fluff. So this would be more, if I'm working hard and I make sales, it's going to directly affect me a little bit more. I guess we can say I've got 2 final interviews. Again, we're not saying where they are. One today and then one on Monday. So today's Friday, YouTube. In our world, I know you'll be watching this on a Wednesday or Saturday.
Everyone, comment below where you think, like, not where, the exact place, but what industry do you think Zach is now shifting into? Because this is something that I'm interested in. Like, I'm like, oh my gosh. We'll be going through the comments.
We'll see.
And now Zach has his own little setup in our, what is it, like an activity room in our apartment complex?
We have like shared workspaces. Like we have a few because our apartment complex is so big. When I actually work, I go to a different one that's a little bit more in the open. Like people can be walking in and out, but like it's still secluded and it's just more comfortable, the seating and the setup. But for the interviews, I go to a different one where the door is like locked. Like if someone looked in, they'd see me sitting. Like no one should ever be coming in and out of this workspace. So it's more private for interviews, which is nice.
But it's funny because it looks so nice. Like there's like a kitchen in the background and people have thought it's Zach's home.
Yeah, a lady was like, oh my gosh, is that your plate? The nice backsplashes, the newer cabinetries, it's got bookshelves. So it looks like it's like this fancy kitchen in reality. Our kitchen looks like that.
This is ours. This is what my people see. But you know what? Not bad, but not anything fancy. My friends, it's time that we had a talk
because right now I am just so mentally exhausted. And one way people describe it is I feel so burnt out. And that's what I was alluding to with my whole moving situation. When I was telling you guys I was so stressed and just wasn't a good situation, I kept saying it is so much more than just the move. Like, this move isn't what is stressing me out. It was exacerbating the fact that I just feel so slammed with work, and like I have so much to do. I am just drowning in work, almost just like there are not enough hours in the day to function, or at least just do all of the things I need to do. And I feel like all of that is what it feels like to be burnt out. And then another thing to preface is, I mean, it's obvious what it is. I have a full-time job, I'm a reporter, but then at the same time I have this YouTube channel. And when I was doing one video a week, that was perfect for my schedule. I didn't feel overwhelmed. I was able to work all week on the video. And then in December, I wanted to challenge myself to upload 2 videos a week. So my new upload schedule has been Wednesdays and Saturdays. And immediately I fell in love with it. Like, I love it. And I think that's the problem with burnout. You need to take things off your plate. Seems easy, right? The problem is you genuinely love these things. Like, it would be so easy if I hated YouTube. Okay, just stop doing it. No, like, I love it. And uploading once a week, it just doesn't feel like enough. Like, I love talking to you guys and uploading and doing all of that twice a week. And I just look at other content creators and they're uploading 2 times a week or even 3 times a week. And granted, YouTube is their full-time job. And I have to remind myself, I'm like, that's how they can do it. That's why they can do it. This is the only thing that's on their plate, YouTube. And I have this whole career to the side. Like, I have both of them. And I was actually texting with my friend Elena today, and she was asking, like, how many hours a week do I spend on YouTube? And first of all, like, I don't know the answer to that. Really hard to answer just because, like, you don't time it. I don't have just periods that are mapped out. But I was thinking to myself, I do obviously the filming, that part, and then hours upon hours of editing. I don't know how long it takes to edit each video. I will be working on like 2 videos at once, which sounds really bad, and I know that's just weird, but it's just the way my brain works. Like, I'm like, oh, I feel like dipping into this video, and then I dip into another. Editing, like, I probably edit like 3 hours a day. Seriously, like, I'll edit on my lunch break, I'll edit after work, I'll edit after I wake up from my nap, like, but I genuinely enjoy it. Editing is my favorite thing in the entire world. So when I wake up from my nap, I will try to be like, oh, okay, like, I'm just gonna watch YouTube videos, and I always, every single time, will open up Final Cut Pro and just find myself editing. It's like an addiction. No, but it's not actually an addiction, but I just prefer creating more than I prefer consuming content, I realized. And let's say, and this is conservative, if I spend 3 hours a day on YouTube and there are 7 days in a week, that is 21 hours. And that's conservative. On the weekends, I can edit for so many hours. It's bad. But yeah, I mean, I'm spending at least minimum, that's being conservative, 20 hours a week on YouTube. Then I'm working 40 hours a week at my job. And it's a lot. It's a lot, and also it's not, none of it, absolutely none of it is mindless work. All of it is using my full creativity all of the time, trying my hardest to like make it good, not just getting the job done, but like, how can we make this good, if that makes sense. So yeah, I was feeling this way, and then we got hit with, hey, you have to move apartments within 3 days, and just moving all of the things. And then what happened was, why I was so stressed is I was spending hours on the phone with State Farm and changing my name, changing my address, changing my renter's insurance, getting new renter's insurance, all of that. And then I decided to go for the goal with new car insurance while I was at it. But anyway, I was just so overwhelmed with like not having enough hours in the day to do it all. And like the thing about a move is normally you plan for it. Maybe you'll take off from work, take off that Monday, take off that Friday. I wasn't able to plan for it. I had to work. And like, so I don't know, like I was reflecting on why the heck this move was so stressful to me. And I think that's why. And then to top it all off, which this just, the timing could not be any worse on this, is you guys just saw me write in my planner, I have to work this Saturday, which normally not a big deal, but A, I've never felt more burnt out in my entire life where I feel like 5 days of work is too much, now I have to do 6, and B, sometimes they will give you a day off in return. So you're still working 5 days out of the week, you're just taking maybe like that Friday off or that Monday, but because of schedules and people quarantining and the whole pandemic, I don't think I can take off. I didn't even ask, but the way the email was worded to me, it just sounded like, hey, you're just gonna get this overtime if you can do it. They're always so kind. Oh my God. I'm just like, man, like I feel like I am at my wit's end right now. But of course I'm gonna be a team player, and of course I'm gonna fill in. It's just really bad timing for how exhausted I felt, both physically
and then mentally. So that brings me to a couple of my solutions. The first, and I feel like one of the reasons I'm so stressed and anxious, is I have 20 million things floating in my brain. This is crazy, guys, but I, for the past year, have not used a planner at all. And I have so many things going on. 95% of it, 99% of it is just in my head. I don't know how and I don't know why. With all of the interviews I have set up and, you know, stories, it's just, I just keep it in my head and I'm like, I just know it. I'm like, oh, okay, Tuesday, interview. Like it just, it naturally just sits there. Like it's not too hard for me to remember. I don't know, but I feel like that might be stressing me out. And so I got a planner. I got this from Target. It is the Day Designer planner. Honestly, I just got the cheapest one because I don't know how committed I'm going to be to this. I'm just not the type of person who writes things down. And it's hard for my industry because things change. Like, and I hate having to cross things out, but I think getting a lot of my thoughts onto paper and out of my brain will help. And it's the same way I keep a journal. Getting my thoughts onto paper and just like out of my brain really does help. The other solution, and I know this is something every single person is going to suggest, is just doing one video a week on YouTube. I think that is what is going to happen for some points. Like I don't want to just go back to one video a week. Like I really just don't. But I think just sometimes, if I'm feeling stressed out, if I'm feeling overwhelmed, if I don't have content to upload, no Wednesday upload. I'm such like a type A person where if I say Wednesday, Saturday, it has to be Wednesday, Saturday. And I hate being like Saturday, maybe Wednesday. Like that just bothers me. But obviously my mental health comes first and that is what is most important. Overall though, like I think this is a good problem to have because I think it's great when you have too much on your plate. It means you have so many interests. It means you have a lot going on, you know what I mean? And like that's something to be so grateful for because I know a lot of people who struggle with finding a hobby or something to do. The reason I say that is just because I was having a conversation with someone the other day who just needs a hobby. And I was like trying to like spitball and name things and I'm just like, honestly, I don't blame you for not having a hobby because if it wasn't for YouTube, what would I have? I guess writing has always been my big hobby and that's what I would do, but I don't know, for some people it's a little bit harder to find a hobby. Anyway, I'm just trying to look on the bright side of things and hope you guys bear with me. One thing is that if you're not already following me on Instagram, I really like connecting with you guys there throughout the week. It's a lot less pressure, it's a lot less edited. I don't edit it at all, obviously. I'm gonna edit my pictures, but nothing crazy. If you guys go to my Instagram, you can see there's no cohesive like theme or anything. It's just my real raw life. And really it's mostly just my stories. Like I feel like I'm a big storyer because I like the fact that it gets deleted in 24 hours. So if it's something weird, I'm like, all right, people only saw it for like a little bit. I'll have that link down below. It's just my name, Clancy Burke. But yeah, we will get through this, guys. I don't know why I'm saying we. I'm roping you guys into my problems.